goes down, I turn into this.
So it starts out this evil little ancient puddle named Chaos, and Sonic goes and fights it because the police are retarded in fighting puddles and they can't defeat it. So Sonic kills it, and then he's at the hotel place near the beach, and Tails' plane crashes. So he goes and saves Tails, and then Tails is all like, "Okay, I'm retarded at making planes, so we have to go make get the Chaos Emeralds to fix it." And so they go get the Chaos Emeralds. Eggman steals them all a couple times, defeats him to Chaos. Chaos gets bigger. So eventually they go after the egg carrier where Eggman is, Chaos, and their Tails' plane crashes, and some more stuff happens, and they go through a bunch more retarded levels. And so they're on the egg carrier again, but as I said before, Tails was retarded in making planes, and he forgot to put the landing gear in his plane, and his plane crashed. So they crashed on the egg carrier, and then some more retarded levels happen, and then Sonic tells Tails to leave, and Tails leaves with Amy, and then Sonic fights Chaos 6, and Chaos 6 dies, but not really, and Sonic falls because the egg carrier crashes, and he's in the ground, then he gets out of the ground, then he goes into the pyramid, does another retarded level, then he goes into the evil robot city, Robotnik Land, built by Eggman, and he does a retarded level there. Then he fights Eggman and his egg, whatever it's called, the big caterpillar flying thing, and then that's pretty much it. We see Knuckles. So it starts out in Tails' story that Tails is flying his plane, he's all retarded and he can't make planes, and he crashes on the beach, and Sonic saves him, and so he tells Sonic that he's retarded at making planes, and to fix it they need to get the Chaos Emeralds. So they go and they go through a bunch of retarded levels getting the Chaos Emeralds, but in the end they all get stolen by Eggman, and Eggman gives them to Chaos, and Chaos gets bigger, and they have to fight Chaos a couple times. They have to fight Eggman a couple times too. And then, so they eventually go after the egg carrier, and Tails' plane crashes, and they go through some more retarded levels, and then they meet up again, then they try to get the egg carrier again, but Tails, as I said before, was retarded in making planes, and he forgot to put in the landing gear, crashed on the egg carrier, etc., etc. Tails leaves with Amy, and then he feels all bad that he can't do anything on his own because he's retarded and he can't make planes. And so he sees a missile get launched by Eggman, and so he goes after it to save the town, and it turns out that the missile was a dud, but Eggman can go and activate it anytime he wants because Eggman knows how to make missiles, but he was retarded making this missile. So Tails goes and deactivates it, and then he saves the town from Eggman, and everybody's all happy, and they give him a Chaos Emerald, which is the last Chaos Emerald. Oh wait, yeah, or something like that, I don't know. And that's the end. So Knuckles' story is different. In Knuckles' story, it starts out, he's on Angel Island, which is a floating island in the sky, and he's laying next to the Master Emerald or something, and Chaos, the little evil puddle, comes out of nowhere and breaks it. So then he goes through a bunch of retarded levels trying to find it, and he fights Chaos once or twice, and so he fixes it all up, and then it says the last piece is on the egg carrier, so he goes on the egg carrier and finds the last piece of the Master Emerald. And that's pretty much it. So it starts out in Amy's story that she finds a little bird or something, and so she's getting captured by this robot because this robot wants the bird or something like that, and eventually, she's going through a bunch of retarded levels getting chased by this robot, and she gets captured eventually and taken onto the egg carrier, And then she goes through a couple more retarded levels, and then she has to go find the bird's parents, and so she goes through some more retarded levels, and then she fights that robot. The robot explodes, and the bird's parents come out. Actually, they come out of a gamma and beta. Yeah, but you don't know that yet, so you didn't hear it from me. So in Big's story, starts out Big's in his jungle house, and Froggy runs off, eats chaos armor, and some robots chase after him. And so Big goes through a bunch of retarded levels and gets Froggy a bunch of times, and he runs off a bunch of times. Eventually, Big gets Froggy back. So it starts out in E102 Gamma's story that he just got finished. Gamma was just built by Eggman. Well, Eggman just finished building Gamma, and he tells Gamma to go on a trial thing. So he does it and passes, and then he has Gamma fight Beta, but he doesn't fight that yet, and Gamma wins, and Beta is shipped off for scrap metal. Was not really shipped off, he's just kind of kept. And so their missions, they have to find a frog, which is Froggy, and bring it back. And so Gamma is the only one smart enough to find it, and he brings it back, and all the other ones are shipped out, deported. They all go to random places, and so there's a bunch of retarded levels that happen, and then Gamma just kind of like decides to think for himself with the help of Amy, and he goes and destroys all of the other robots because he feels that it is better that they are dead than having to take orders from Eggman or something like that. And he wants to save the little animals inside them. And then he fights Beta back on the egg carrier crash site, and Beta dies, but then he doesn't really die, and then he blows up Gamma, and then they both explode. End of story. So, in Supersonic story, it starts out, and it's on Angel Island, and Knuckles is sitting there, like, wondering why Angel Island was falling again. Then that evil little puddle we mentioned before, Chaos, he comes and, like, pretty much takes out Knuckles, and later takes out Eggman. And so Sonic is laying under a tree, and Tails comes up, and he's like talking to him about something, and they go into the jungle or something, and then they go to the shrine where Knuckles and Eggman are, and they talk to him. Chaos like goes away, and he gets the Chaos Emeralds, and he turns into, well, he gets bigger and bigger and bigger and turns into Chaos 7, Perfect Chaos. And then Sonic's, everybody else is like freaking out, and so there's a big discussion about it. And then they go and try to defeat Chaos, but they can't. Well, they don't really try. So they give Sonic the Chaos Emeralds, which still work, even though their magic powers not sucked away by Chaos, but the Chaos only took the negative power, so Sonic turns into Super Sonic, and he pawns Perfect Chaos, and then Tico and Chaos fly away, and then there's some discussion among characters. And that's it. Sonic Adventure DX is over. Go home and get a life.